Good morning, good morning, good morning. And welcome back to Mrs. P What Is For Tea. Something very different for you today. I'm going to clean my Dyson Hoover. I do it about maybe twice a year, so I don't do it that often. I'm not even sure how often you should do it. So every time I do it, it's like doing it for the first time because it's 6 months since I've done it the last time. So, first thing is just check that you can see right through that, which you can. This is actually a replacement. I think my Dyson fell over once too often and my original pole, whatever this is called, tube, was slightly cracked, so that is a replacement. Okay, so this is the bit that I use the most often. The roller, this is the one I use daily. Now we live in a tiny little house, tiny little bungalow. I can hoover my house end to end. If I'm not pulling stuff out, if I'm not pulling furniture out, I can hoover it end to end, the whole lot, in less than 20 minutes. But I do hoover every day because I've got a dog and I've got a cat. So anyway, this is absolutely filthy. This is, I mean, we're sorely in need of doing it. So, at one end, there's like a, I suppose a bit like a, you'd put a screwdriver in, but actually the best thing to put in it, I have found, is a 2p coin. And, oh, we're going to be able to unlock it. It's not shifting. Okay, we're not going to be doing that today. I can't unlock it, I can't shift it, so long since I've done it. So I'm going to have to get Mr. P to do that for me. Okay, no worries. That can be done again. The filter, I do actually, when I use my hoover, I tap my filter. Just like that to get the dust out of it, but I think this could really do with a clean. And how you actually clean this is with cold water, running cold water, and you clean it from the top. Not from the outside, you clean it from the inside. So that you can see the taps. And then you have to leave this. This is the hardest part for me. You've got to leave that for 24 hours to properly dry. Mine is still quite. So I shall put that, it's a beautiful day, so I'll put that outside to dry. And you can take this part off, right round here. You can take this part off. You push that down and that comes straight off. And that just gives you an opportunity to just sweep round all these bits, all the seals. Just make sure there's nothing, because they get ever so dusty. They do get dusty. So just give them a good old brush round. I'm just using an old paintbrush. And just get all the dust out of it. Because if it doesn't seal properly, you don't get as good a result. So, particularly round all the seals. So, round this as well. Make sure all the seals have a good dust. Dust that out. And that seal in there. And it just aids the suction because it makes a better seal. It's not difficult. I don't unscrew anything and mess about with mechanics. I don't do anything like that. I just take that off take off that. I'm wrong, haven't I? How does it go back on? Is that it? No. That's it, isn't it? Oh geez, how does it go back on? No. There we go. And it just, there we go. There we go. It's back together. Give it a bit of a dust. I mean, ideally, what I would do is I would clean this. But I can't get it undone, so I'll get Mr. P to undo it for me. But all of this, just give it a bit of a brush out. I suppose if you had another vacuum cleaner, that would be ideal, because you could just, you could hoover it. So I've had my Dyson, this Dyson, for 4 years. And this is a Dyson 10 Animal. And I've had this, as I say, 4 years. But I do check that there's no hair wrapped around this bar, because that does hamper its use. And I just kind of keep it clean like that, but I cannot get this to unfasten at all. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Should it just, I'll turn it that way. No, it's not moving. It is not moving, so I'll get Mr. P to do that for me at the weekend, to undo that, and I'll get that clean. But actually, the inside's dirty, yes, absolutely, give that to you. But there's nothing stuck in there. There's no hair around the actual roller itself. So, but I'll get him to undo that for me. And it's clear, I can see all the way through. And it's just these little bits of jobs, maintenance, that just helps your appliances live just a little bit longer. Now I'm retired, I wouldn't be thinking about replacing something like my Dyson, because as you know, it's an expensive item. But I've taken care of it, so it's living fine. I have no problems with the battery. But as I say, our house is tiny, so it's not like the battery ever runs till it's flat. It never does. It goes back on the holder when I've used it and back on to charge. So, but I believe you can replace the battery, but once again, that involves unscrewing things, and I don't do that. I just do a very basic clean. So that is how I clean my Dyson. As I say, I do it a couple of times a year. Normally Mr. P's here and he does undo this for me, but I just cannot shift it. But I'm not particularly strong, so it won't move for me. So I'll get Mr. P to do that for me and we'll clean that. So that's just one of the little jobs that I do a couple of times a year. Talking about maintaining appliances, I do put a cleaner through my washer and my dishwasher every 5 weeks, and I take my dishwasher to bits every 5 weeks. Clean the filter, clean the swing arms. I do that when I'm on week 2 of my cleaning schedule, which is my kitchen. So I do that every 5 weeks, and I have to say, this washing machine's only about 3 months old. It's a washer dryer. But our last washing machine we had for over 10 years. And I'm sure putting the cleaner through, we're in a really hard water area, and I'm sure putting the cleaner through every month, 6 weeks, really does extend the life of it. Because that's one thing you can't do without your washing machine. That's a tough one when your washing machine's not working. So thanks very much for joining me. I'll be back with you tomorrow with Meals of the Week, and I shall speak to you then. Take care of yourself, and I'll speak to you soon.